All right, let's get started, guys. Today we are going to learn a very simple strategy. It is called momentum. And if you've ever taken physics, in university, college, you would have learned what momentum is. It is a scientific principle, um, and we will learn how you can use momentum in the stock markets and profit. Okay, so you can make money by using momentum. So, hi Karan, hi Raviraj, hi Chidambaram. Fantastic. So we have a pretty decent turnout on a Friday evening. Fantastic. And tomorrow, guys, I'm actually going to be in Delhi at the Trade Academy workshop. Okay, so if you're going to be in the Delhi area, please stop by. Pratik and the entire Trade Academy team will be there as well, and it's going to be fantastic. Um, all right, let's get started. Okay, um, so today you're going to learn a very simple strategy. It is a momentum strategy, and it is basically a buy today, sell tomorrow strategy. So basically, you buy right before the market closes, and you actually sell your position right at the market open the next day. So we're going to be learning the strategy rules, and then we're going to go on to the backtest results, right? The backtest is basically when you're looking at historical data and you're trying to see how a strategy performs historically, right? And then we're going to go through some um, real trade examples. So Karan is saying he's not able to hear me. If you can hear me, please say yes, right? You should be able to hear me. Be able to hear me. Okay, fantastic. All right, cool. So Karan, just if you're having any audio issues, guys, just log in through incognito. That should solve any problems. And then we're going to go through some real trade examples. Okay, and finally, I'll talk to you a little bit about how to use the Trade Academy app to get all your momentum trades right on the app. Okay. So the goal of Trade Academy is very simple. We want to make every single trader successful. Did you know that 90% of traders in India lose money? 90% of traders lose money, right? So it's a very big problem. And what we're trying to do with Trade Academy is we want you to be within the 10% of traders that make money, okay? So if you are profitable, please say yes, and please say no if you're not profitable right now. Please say yes if you're profitable, and please say no if you're not profitable. Okay, and if you're using Scanner, or if you're a part of Trade Academy, if you've used any of our trading strategies, please say yes. Please say yes if you are using the Trade Academy concepts, right? Fantastic, right? So the goal of Trade Academy is we want to produce a community of profitable, successful traders. Because let's face it, the only reason we're trading is to make money, right? Even if we enjoy trading, that's secondary. The primary reason is to make money, right, Vinod? So if you're not making money, and if you're spending all that time, that's kind of crazy, right? So that's why if you're trading, you should be, looking to make money. I know. All right. So we are backed by the best. Okay, we are backed by a fantastic venture capitalist group in Kalari Capital. We have GVK, right, the GVK conglomerate, and we have Mr. Ratan Tata. Okay, we're very grateful and honored to have him as a part of our board. Okay, who is this man? Who is this right here in the middle? Who is this guy? Tell me his name. Who is this guy right here? Usain Bolt, right? Now, he did not have a very good race a couple weeks ago, okay? But apart from that, his entire life, really, he's been the king, right? Now we are going to see how Usain Bolt uses momentum when he runs, okay? So I'm getting some questions here. So guys, if you have any questions on Scanner, I'm going to answer all your trades, all your questions at the end of the webinar, okay? So I will answer all your questions, Karthi. I'll answer all your questions on Scanner at the end of the webinar, okay? So this is Usain Bolt, right? Right here with a circle around him. Now, what he's doing is he is using the principle of momentum. So let's look at this right at the beginning of the race, and we can see that Usain Bolt is not getting a very good start, right? So literally, right after 2 seconds, you can see that this guy right here, okay, is basically taking an entire stride ahead of Usain Bolt. In fact, you can see that Usain Bolt is literally almost behind everybody, right? This guy's ahead of him, he's ahead of him, he's ahead of him. This guy is actually ahead of him. Everybody's ahead of Usain Bolt. That is amazing, right? But if we forward to 3 seconds and 29 milliseconds, you can see that something is changing very slowly. He's still in last place, but he's using something to his advantage. And that something is called momentum. Because by this point, at 4 seconds and 34 milliseconds, he is right behind this guy, Justin Gatlin, right, from the US. So Gatlin is number 1, but now Bolt is number 2, right? Maybe number 3, maybe this guy's number 2, but it looks like Bolt is number 2, right? Now, you can probably guess what happens at the end, right? Of course, Usain Bolt flies to the finish, and in fact, he does this famous thing where right before he crosses, he actually looks around to see who's around him, right? So he had a lot of time on his hands, and that's the power of using momentum. Obviously, it's not just Usain Bolt. Everyone is using momentum. They actually accelerate as they get to the end, but Usain Bolt probably uses momentum better than anybody else, okay? So now let's see how you can use momentum in the stock markets, okay? So this is PTC India, right? Now, what we're going to do is we are looking for a stock that is in an upward momentum, all right? Now, look at this. This is right at the end of April, right? And you can see that PTC India has a positive day, and it has ticked upwards from the previous date, right? It is a green candle. It is a green candle, and you can see that the closing price is above the previous day's closing price, right? So it's a red candle, which means this is the close, and this is the close on this day, right? So this is higher than this, obviously, okay? Now let's move forward and let's see what happens to PTC India. Well, if I go to this day, do you notice that not only has the closing price increased, but the delta between the closing prices has increased as well, right? So the difference between this and this is less than the difference between this and this. Do you all see that? Do you see how the difference is increasing? Do you all see that? Do you see how the difference is increasing? Right? Okay. So we're going to basically see how we can use momentum in this situation, right? Now look at that, right? PTC India has literally just surged up. So what's going on here? What's exactly going on? Well, it's not just the fact that the closing price is going up, but it's also the fact that the difference between the closing prices is also increasing day by day, right? So the difference between this to this, that difference between closing price is greater than the difference between here and here. And the difference between here and here is greater than the difference between here and here, right? So the difference is increasing. So not only is the closing price increasing, but the difference between the closes is also increasing, right? So what you would do is you would actually buy PTC India right before the market close, and you would sell the next morning at the open. Okay, so let's look at one more example. This is DCB Bank. All right, so this is day one. All right, this is day two. So once again, if I go back to day one, we can see that the difference between the closing prices is positive, right? So the stock has ticked upwards between the previous day's close and today's close. And in day number two, the closing price is not only higher than the closing price of day number one, but the difference is higher. So the difference between the closes is increasing. And this is day number three, right? So the difference between the closes has been increasing every day, and the stock is trending upwards, right? So therefore, we would sell at the close over here, and we would buy the next day at the open and capture the profit. Does that make sense? Please say yes if that makes sense. Fantastic, right? So let's go for one more example. All right. So if I look at Seat Ltd, once again, the closing price has gone up, right? So if I look at the closing price of the 29th and compared to the closing price of the 30th, the closing price has increased. And if I compare, the closing prices of day number two versus day number one, that has also increased. And the closing price of day number three versus day number two, that has also increased, right? So I would buy Seat right before the market closes, and I would buy back the next day at the market open, right? It's very simple. So this is how the strategy works. Okay, it's a very simple strategy. What we do is, once the stock has been gaining for 3 consecutive days, and I'm looking at the closing price, right? So whenever the difference between the closes has been increasing day by day, right? The gain must be higher than the previous day's close. Then I'm buying on day number 3, and I'm basically selling on day number 4 at the market open. Okay? And I'm only looking at F&O stocks in the cash market. Okay? So it's very simple. Now, one thing you can do is you can use NSE India, okay, to look for all the top gainers. If I go to NSE India, right, and if I look for the top gainers, my internet is a little slow, but if I go for the top gainers of the day, right, you can try to quickly shortlist some stocks by looking at this list. Okay, now this is a little difficult to do. It's not that easy, but you can do it. You can actually look at all these stocks. You can open up Upstocks Pro, and you can basically look for situations for when the difference between the closing prices has been increasing day by day. Okay. And the other example, and the other thing that you can do is you can use the Trade Academy app, which basically scans the markets and looks for trades that satisfy the criteria. Okay. Now let's understand the market psychology. Why does this work? Right? Well, what happens is stocks gain momentum, right? And as stocks are gaining momentum, then technical indicators start pointing towards a reversal, okay? So as a stock is trending upwards, at some point in time, when you apply technical indicators, it's going to point towards a reversal, okay? So that's one reason. And another reason is, news agencies start to see the consistent rise, and they're looking for fundamental reasons for why the stock is rising, okay? So this is another reason for why the stock keeps going up, and boom, on day number 4, it falls, right? So you can basically, get out of the open, and you can capture that profit, right? So this is a back test. So back test is basically when we look at historical data, and we're trying to figure out exactly how profitable a strategy is, right? So for example, we have 5 different strategies in Scanner, and we can see that most of these strategies perform very well, right? So Momentum, which is a buy today, sell tomorrow, it's done very well. It's actually generated a 72% return, right? And the max drawdown is only 8%. So max drawdown is basically the max loss, right? So the max loss was only 8%. And the win-loss ratio of Momentum is very good. In fact, 70% of Momentum trades are profitable, right? That's pretty amazing. Now, here are some real examples that we've seen and we've taken. Okay, so all of these trades are completely real. Okay, so I can see, for example, that PTC India, had this trade on 5th March, right? I'm sorry, on 3rd May, right? On 3rd May, this is PTC India, and these are all real trades that were taken by Scanner users, right? So obviously most of these trades are profitable. Now you should keep in mind that all these trades do not include brokerage, and they don't include commission. But even with commission and brokerage, you're going to come out on top. Okay? So if you have any questions on any of this, please ask me any question you have on the Momentum strategy, okay? Because I do want to answer all your questions, okay? If you have any questions on the Momentum strategy, please ask me all your questions right now, right? Now, I do want to pull up the performance page of Scanner, because you should know exactly how profitable the Momentum strategy is. So if I just look at Momentum, and if I compare it to, say, something like the Sensex, this is how it has performed, right? So we can see all the trades in July, right? And obviously, we have not updated the backtest results for the past, week, okay? But it has performed really, really well. So Chetan is saying JP Associates has been shown, but is banned for trading in F&O. So Chetan, we don't exclude, stocks even if they're banned in F&O. Okay, as long as it's a part of the F&O list. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's banned or not. As long as it's listed as an F&O stock, it's included in the universe of stocks. So it's a very good question, Chetan. It's a very good observation. Right? Fantastic. So now I'm getting some questions here on Scanner. So Chetan is saying, do we need to buy futures or stocks? Stocks, right? We're buying stocks. We're not buying futures. the stock universe, Chetan, is going to be all your F&O stocks. Any stock that has a listed futures and options, right? So, but the universe of stocks is going to be F&O stocks, okay? Karan is asking me, when are we launching commodity strategy? Karan, the product roadmap has been finalized, and we'll be launching the commodity strategy the first week of September, okay? So the roadmap is very simple. We're launching Bounce with a 2% stop loss tomorrow, all right? It's going to be very exciting. And all the scanner strategies will have a stop loss, right? That's something all the users have been asking for. So we're going to be launching Gravity, Volcano, even Gap, and Bounce with a stop loss. Momentum, you cannot use a stop loss, right? Because it's an overnight trade. Karan is saying he wants crude and gold. Okay, we'll work on that, Karan. Right? If you have any ideas on a profitable crude strategy, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And so it's very exciting. If any more questions on Scanner, any questions at all, please let me know. And let me go ahead and give you a discount link. Right? So this is a discount link. And if you want the discount link, please let me know, right? This actually includes futures as well, right? And so Chetan is saying need something for trading F&O. So Chetan, if you subscribe to Scanner, you will actually get you know, the momentum future strategy, right? So you can basically subscribe for momentum futures. It is you know, included. So Raviraj is saying how much we should start trading with. That's a very good question. So Raviraj, basically you should be able to, it depends on whether you're trading equity or futures. I'm assuming you're trading equity. So if you're trading equity, you really don't need that much in your account, right? Now you are taking a delivery position, so you do have to basically cover the delivery margin, right? But that being said, if you look at the price for most of these stocks, it's not going to be more than 1,000, couple thousand. So I would say if you want to cover the price of brokerage, then you need to, you should have, I would say maybe 1 lakh, right? Maybe 50,000 to a lakh. Because if you can basically capture, you know, 3%, 3 to 4%, then you should be okay, Raviraj. Right? So I would say 1 lakh or above. Fantastic. You guys have any more questions on Scanner? Any questions at all? Fantastic, guys. So that's going to bring us to the end of the webinar. It's going to be short and sweet today. And here is the discount link in case you do want to subscribe to Scanner, right? And make sure you check out the workshops. We have a workshop this weekend in Delhi and in Mumbai. Okay? Well, fantastic. Have a great evening and have a great weekend. And I know the number of webinars has gone down for the past couple of weeks, but we have a lot of surprises in store for all of you. This is going to be very exciting. And you know, so Karan is asking me, when are we launching Nifty Bank Nifty? We'll be launching that in the last week of August, Karan. Last week of August, we will be launching Nifty Bank Nifty. All right. Well, have a fantastic evening, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you very, very soon at the webinar and hopefully at the workshop. Bye.